Hi, and welcome to Girl Talk. Yes, Sean Stewart, Custom Audio Video is here, and thank you for joining us in this opening segment today. Yeah. We thought with the holidays rapidly approaching, it might be kind of fun to talk about some different and unique things to think about for the holiday season. Yeah. And one of those things is creating a home environment that relies a little bit more on technology. So actually we were talking before, and Jeremy had a great question. We thought we might even bring it up to everybody here today, and that is, what's the difference, or why do I come to Custom Audio Video, a professional, to help me do the design and actually get everything in? What are the advantages of coming to someone like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to it. There's so many things that we can do in our homes and everything that we can do ourselves.
Right.
Right, but there's a lot of things you don't want to. And part of that is what you feel comfortable with, right? I would never say that we're at the level of a surgeon, right? But there's a lot of plumbing in my house that I'm going, I don't want to do anything because I'm going to mess it up if I do it myself.
And for me, it's funny because I've got jack boxes and all these other kind of crazy things in that my husband just plugs in, and they're sitting.
Yeah.
And aesthetically and design-wise, I just want to strangle them because they don't look good.
Right.
And they're just obtrusive.
Yeah, and that's part of what we take into account is, let's get what you want in terms of usability, the equipment that you need, but let's also make sure it looks good.
Yep.
It's well organized. It's mixed and designed into the room. You've seen the spaces around here.
Yeah, part of a master plan is what you've always taught me.
Exactly. Yeah, and then there's a lot of things that we think about for expanding, right?
Okay.
That you might be going, hey, I just want to get this one piece in my house. I want to get a TV in there. And we're going, have you thought about the future? Have you thought about what happens when that TV needs to be replaced in a couple of years? Wiring to that location, how it's connecting to everything else. Are you getting network there because we're doing so much streaming now? Thinking about all those different things. I know I do it all the time with projects in my house. The number of times I have to run to Home Depot to do a DIY.
It's so true, is it, right?
Where if a contractor, they come
right,
and they've got everything because they know all the different pieces that need to go into that project.
What I hear you say that probably resonates the most with me, and probably with a lot of us, is that you actually know the question. You don't know what you don't know. So I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And so you come in and actually provide sort of a comprehensive service.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that's where our designers come in. Part of what I would say is our walkthrough process, right? Where you reach out to us and then we set up a time to come out and evaluate the space.
Okay.
Is talking to you about the things that brought you to us.
Okay.
Right? I want a new TV, or I want some sound, or whatever it's going to be. But then also bringing up those things that you may not have thought of. Right.
I have a question, Sean, and that is, because I'm a designer, oftentimes, well, not oftentimes, this year particularly, the supply chain has been just a nightmare.
Right.
And I don't really see it easing up. How about in your industry? And what does that do to us with a little forethought and planning and things like that? Again, holidays are coming.
Yeah, so I mean, our industry in particular has been hit kind of doubly.
Okay.
Right, the first was just the microprocessor shortage around the world, and you can imagine there's so many things that we use microprocessors in. And then the other side, of course, is the shipping and the backlog and all those things that's affecting everything. So those two things are really hurting.
Okay.
It's making it more difficult to plan because we don't know when certain things are going to get here. But what we just try to tell people, and I think it's becoming more normal, is just kind of understanding, hey, time frames are long, and kind of get the process started early. Knowing that it may take a few months for the product to come in. Now we are doing things and tweaking and maybe going with a different solution with this one piece because our normal go-to is harder to get. So we're taking all those things into account, but there's so much that's out of our hands right now.
We've done that with things like cabinetry and appliances, where we've said, okay, we're going to go ahead and put this here, knowing that down the road it's going to be traded out for that, and this one's going to go here.
Yeah.
So there are some pretty creative solutions. I'll tell you what it's taught a lot of us is to delay our gratification a little bit and to really plan ahead if we're playing the glad game.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we try to also go, hey, what can we do with the product we know we can get?
Okay.
And then kind of breaking, a project into two pieces and going, hey, we'll come back and do this once, the receiver gets delivered. We don't know when it's going to be, but everything else will get taken care of. So kind of making sure that we're trying to take care of our clients as much as possible, even though there's so much out of our hands.
All right, this is one of those just for fun questions. Just for fun, what are some of the myths or boo-boos that you have heard when people come in and say, okay, I tried to do it myself, and are there things that happen that you're like, oh gosh, you could have been alleviated or prevented so easily?
A myth, I guess it would be, one of the biggest myths right now is that wireless is king.
Okay.
Right? Wireless is great. It's becoming more and more popular. But I always say wireless goes back to a wire at some point. So the further you can get that wire, the better.
Wait a minute, the further you can get that wire, the better.
Right.
Help me.
So TVs, right?
Okay.
TVs are wireless. It's talking to your router that's then wired to the network. You get so much more performance and reliability if you can get a wire from your network to the TV rather than relying on wireless.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Right? No, I mean,
So,
okay.
I mean, wireless is great.
Right.
But in my ideal home, the only devices that I'm going to be using wireless are, a phone or a tablet that you really can't plug in. But TVs, computers, if they can be hardwired, all these different things work better with a hardwired connection.
I tell you what, my favorite thing on Girl Talk is our takeaway. I'm not going to ask you another question because that was the best takeaway ever. Thank you so much. Stay with us. There's a lot more to come here on Girl Talk. We're going to be looking at holiday items.